Hello my lovelies, Robbie here from Kickback Garage. Now I've just come back from the barber shop and I feel like a real Bobby Dazzler, but I am no way in shape or form as beautiful as this original paint TV175. Now this video is all about this. I thought I'd run you through what I've done to it the last week, and I also thought I'd show you those subtle differences and those special things that make the TV175 the best scooter out there. Well, according to me at least. Go grab yourself a coffee. I'll see you after the intro. Messing around with these cameras, batteries going flat.
Markerte det med regn, alle sprang I lag og ville komme under tak. Ingen av oss merket at du hadde falt I frak, for valgte du å dra. Hvem I faen kunne se den komme, da høsten tok over, sa vi hadde brattet oss sommer.
Right, so here she is, the Series 2, 1961 Series 2, TV175. In original paint. Not often you see these. And definitely not often you see these here in Norway. I've had the pleasure of working on this for the last week. I wanted to get this project done and down. It's been waiting a couple of weeks for parts and stuff like that, so wait until the parts came, and then I just used night and day to get this sorted, to get it commissioned back on the road. So the history of this scooter is, it was bought in 1961, and the scooter was taken off the road, we think, looking at the papers, somewhere between 1967 and 1968. And basically what's happened is it stopped working and it just has been dry stored. The owner sadly passed away, and his son, he inherited this, and it looked like that he'd been trying to sort out a few things on this. Like the fuel tank was really a lot of crap in there. It's not rusty or anything, it was just lots of dirt in there. Probably because it's been stood still, maybe even without petrol in the tank. And I could see they've been messing around with the electrics and just not been able to get it to start. But I'll throw up some pictures here of how the engine looked when I pulled it out. As you can see, there was gunk blowing out of every orifice on this engine, and when I removed the side case, and that was pretty hard to do, to tell you the truth, because this thing has been together since 1961 untouched. I had to heat the side cases, because just actuating the clutch or the kickstart or something like that to prise the side case off was pretty much impossible. So I had to gently heat the primary cover. And after about an hour of messing around, it sort of opened itself up to us. And as you can see here on these pictures, the under the clutch and stuff like that, it all looks like it's been done by the factory. So probably not had any work to the machine whatsoever. Now, what we decided to do with this, because the present owner, he wants to use this scooter on the road, trips and tours. His small jaunt to the shops, he lives out in the country, his small jaunt to the shops is about 60 kilometers. So what we decided to do, instead of trying to source somewhere in Norway, and that can take a long time and cost a lot of money, but that is something that we're planning on doing, is actually reboring the original cylinder. The crankshaft, surprisingly, was probably one of the nicest original crankshafts I've seen. Wasn't any slack or anything like that on there. So if he wants to revert this to 100% original, that's possible, because we haven't done anything to the bodywork or anything like that. Now, what I've done is I took out the engine, and in the engine bay, I cleaned everything up, and I fit a RT 195 kit there and a GP crankshaft, and we have converted it to electronic ignition. Basically, to make this thing really reliable. And if you ask me, some people may say it's sacrilege, just not using the time to get the old engine and cylinder configuration up and running. There's just something about having this scooter on the road. It's much better being on the road than stuck in someone's garage. So I'm really pleased to have been part of this project. What makes the TV175 Series 2 unique to all the other scooters? Well, I'm going to tell you. The thing is, with all TVs, they use the 116 com rod, which apparently gives a smoother ride. I don't know. I've just been out on this, checked the jetting and everything, and it's pretty smooth. So that could be a combination of all sorts of things. And it's actually very quiet. And I'll go into that a tiny little bit later on. But the differences between the TV175 are, in general, is that they come equipped with dampers at the front here, and the links on these are the disc links, and that's a little bit odd because it's sort of like Innocenti were preparing for the Series 3, and maybe already had the option of fitting a disc brake on these on the Series 2 before the Series 3 came out. Very odd, very hard to find, and that's probably the only thing about this scooter I would recommend the owner do. Well, what he's going to do is going to detail it. He's going to really go to town and get this shiny happy. Like I said, I've done under the engine bay, just give it a bit of a wash on the outside. Is the fact that the brakes at the front aren't very good. The back brake is very good. I have changed the brake pads. I have changed the lay shaft because that is always a good thing to do. I've had the gearbox out, obviously, and reshimmed the gearbox. It was actually out by quite a bit, so I ended up using a fatter shim on that, and now it goes really nicely through the gears. You know this is a low mileage scooter. I mean, the speedo cable doesn't work on this, so we're really not sure how far it's gone. It does have around about 6,000 kilometers on the clock. By the state of the engine, I reckon it's been a bit more, but all the same, all the controls, the handlebars and everything are all tight, so I didn't need to weld those up, didn't need to touch those. They're in really good nick. I've also used the original wiring loom, which was pretty much pristine, and oddly enough, the wires were still supple. So this has definitely been stored in a good place, and there's no rot or anything on this. There is the old rusty patina. What I wanted to show you was the differences, and we'll start at the handlebar, I think. So on the handlebar, there's quite a few differences between this and the Li 150, which was its brother. First thing to know is the fact that it is equipped with 120 km/h speedometer. They're quite rare now, so I've seen them go on eBay for quite a lot of money. You have this switch. The Li switch, as you know, is a square one with the switchy underneath, and this is later adapted to the TV175 Series 3 and the GP, but the GP obviously came with black buttons instead of the white buttons. Another feature that is completely exclusive to the Lambretta TV175 Series 2 is the ignition switch. Now, you probably can't see this. I'm going to try and zoom it in, but there's a little indentation here, or a little spot. Originally, these came with like a half-moon cover that covered up your lock, the ignition key. So that was pretty cool. They're also a rare item, and as far as I'm aware, nobody actually reproduces those. It's got this original key here, and yeah, it still works really nice. And you've got this little flap. That is the same as on the Series 2. This has got a catch. I've actually had these with a little magnet. So there are some differences in how they spec these things. Another thing that was exclusive for the TV175, apart from the obvious, the TV175 side panel badges, was the fact that these came equipped with the bench seat. This particular one is, I'll have a look, I think normally the Gileri. This one is an Aquila Continental. It's in pretty good nick, to tell you the truth. So that was gave a different sort of look to the LA 150 and 125 that actually came with the dual seats. This one came with the long seat. Now the strange thing is, in Norway, I think because maybe they think they're cute or something, but I've seen quite a few TVs that have had the single seats, and I imagine that's sort of an upgrade that they have done when they bought the thing. I've ridden both this type of seat and the single seats. Actually feels more roomy with the single seats. And a Series 2, if you haven't ridden 2 up on a Series 2, try that. I really recommend it because it is nowhere near as cramped as the Series 3. It just feels a lot more roomy. And you've got a better position for your riding feet. And while we're talking about your pillions feet, this embellisher here is, I've got my shadow in the way there, so I'm trying to, I'll just point instead, I'll point, that thing there, the shiny bit of trim. That is an original Fiam embellisher, the footboard extension, and they are really, really nice, and they fetch a pretty penny, so that was a good find to have that on here. They don't normally bling them out too much, but I have had a Series 2 175 that actually had Ulma slide panel flashes as well. So some people like to be a little bit flash. So if you're looking at the Series 2 to purchase, then you will notice that there are 2 types of Chromecast covers. This horn cover here is what we call the pear-shaped one. And normally, to make sure that it isn't a bitzer, normally 99.9% of them came out of the factory with this later, that when I say later, probably right at the end of 60, and in 1961, then they came with this pear-shaped cover. And when they came out with that, for some reason, probably regulations, but I don't think they're as nice, the rear light is a lot longer than is on the Series 1 and early Series 2s. I don't really like those that much. I think they're a lot nicer, the shorter ones. But it could be something to do with some regulation in Europe that meant that you had to have better illumination under your on your number plate or something like that. I presume, at least. I presume it was something like that. Now, another thing that is special with the TV175 is in the engine bay. I'll just open this panel and give you a look. Right. So as you can see, I have not refit the airbox. Now that is going back in again, and we're going to have the filter running, the carb running through the airbox as per original, just so it looks pretty standard. The reason why I haven't put that in yet is because the rubbers on the toolbox were so perished that I couldn't reuse those. So I thought I'd leave that out so that the owner, it's just a case of loosening the straps and putting in. It's these side buffers here. The back ones are okay, but he should have some new ones at the front there. And it just gives him better access. And it's quite easy to fit the toolbox. I'm lighting the airbox. Now, if you can see the engine bay here, it all looks like a normal scooter. My neighbours are going. A normal scooter, in the fact that it's got painted flywheel cowl and head cowl, and you probably would have noticed that the rear mudguard looks terrible, and that is not shit. Well, it is. It's a combined effort of shit. But these TV175s, they came with soundproofing, which may explain why road noise and cylinder noise is slightly less on another scooter. And this was exclusive, I believe, to the TV175 Series 2. The strange thing is, on this one, it's the first time I've seen it like this. I always presumed that the whole of the head cowl was soundproof with this with that black stuff that they put on there. And this one is only soundproofed on half of the cowl. So I'll throw up a picture there, you can have a look at that. And I find that a little bit odd, if not very interesting and quirky. Obviously, later in the game, they stopped doing that. I'm not sure if it's because they found out that it wasn't helping much, or it just made the bike look really dirty after a while. I'm really unsure. But as you can see, the engine bay, I have polished the toolbox here, and you can see it comes up quite shiny. So I'm really looking forward to see what the owner does with this. He's going to put it in his garage this winter, and it's going to give him something to do. Hopefully, he's actually also got a frame breather, a Series 1 frame breather, which I've never seen before in Norway, which is cool. That has been painted, engine has been rebuilt, and I think I'm going to put that together for him, which should be really cool. The setup is BGM standard crank, that GP 58 by 107 crankshaft. We've gone for a PHBH, as you can see here. It has got BGM electronic 12-volt ignition, and this thing fires up really easy, and it rides sweet as a nut, I have to say. It's really a great little rider. Right, what I thought I'd do now is fire it up so you can have a listen to her. I think she sounds sweet as a nut, to tell you the truth. Something about those Clubman exhausts that sort of keep the originality all the same. And it's got a really nice pull. I think if you had an original TV175, and then you put an RT195 in it, you probably wouldn't really be able to tell the difference while you're riding. It's not until you meet another TV175 in original condition that you feel, that you can see that you're actually pulling a lot harder than you do on the original engine. Bags of torque, doesn't rev too high. It's a really relaxed, nice ride. So let's start her up. So that's the choke on. That's the petrol tap on. See if she'll start. I did say she starts easy, and and because I haven't got keys on my scooters, I always forget to put the key on. But this time I remembered. Good job, Rob. Good job. First kick. My microphone is here, so you should be able to hear this pretty good. Will she take over? Yes, she will. Lovely jubbly. Nice. And the key works as well, not too bad. One thing you might have noticed and wonder about is these two little dimples at the front here. Now, I've seen this quite a few times on, actually, it was on the yellow one there as well. I think 5960, maybe early 61, it was actually a legal requirement to have a number plate on your front mudguard on scooters. Not sure why, because I've seen a lot of these. And the odd thing is, in Norway, they don't have them on the side like you did in the UK. They have them straight across on the front there, like they do in Thailand, I suppose. But yeah, so that's what those dimples are all about. Hope you enjoyed this video where we go through the small differences on the TV175, and I have to say it's been a real pleasure to have this original beast in my garage the last week. This would definitely suit my collection. I mean, I'd probably do exactly what it's done to it. I might have, if it was mine, I might have like completely stripped it, taken off the leg shields, got rid of all the grime, although I did get rid of a lot of grime underneath there because we was hoping to use the original control cables. Problem being, they'd stretched and they were absolutely buggered, and they sort of weren't in the headset. So I had to take off the Homecast, and there was a lot of grime in there that I got rid of, and underneath around the fork. And I had to unfortunately fit new cables, which could explain why everything feels really nice and tight. But as I said, there's no untoward horrible move, clunking slackness on this at all. So I reckon it's quite a low mile machine compared to what I normally do. I really hope that the owner can get this out the rest of the summer and enjoy the scooter as it should be enjoyed, and hopefully in the winter he will polish it all up, do a bit of detailing, and just to preserve it so that the rusty bits don't get too rusty. As you can see, there's two marks on the back there. I presume it's had panniers or something on there. It's the same on the other side as well, but otherwise, whoa, what a great ride, huh? The Lambretta TV175 Series 2. Anyway, I'll see you all in the next one. Ta-ra!